He became a ghost once, he was aware that we were looking for him, and that's when he went off the grid.
As the FBI Ghostbusters continued their search for Jason Brown, who had been charged with killing armored car courier Keith Palomares, veteran agent Lance Lysing found himself perplexed by the apparent paradoxes in his suspect.
I've seen people desperate in this way for money, to risk 20 years of their life to rob a bank. This guy, though, Jason, how he grew up, the opportunities he had in life to lead a good life and to be productive in society, I don't think I've ever seen anybody like this. Whenever you're hunting a fugitive, you get to know them. You go back deep into their family history.
Investigators believe that somewhere in Brown's family history, they would uncover some clue to his whereabouts. They discovered their unlikely suspect grew up in the sunny affluence of Orange County, California, raised on this block in Laguna Beach, just down the street from his grandparents. An Eagle Scout and first-rate athlete, Brown graduated from Laguna Beach High School before attending college in Idaho. Then he served 2 years as a Mormon missionary in France, where he became fluent in the language. And not long after he returned home, he married a fellow missionary in a temple ceremony in Los Angeles. He earned a master's degree in business administration. But somewhere on his path to a corporate corner office, Brown's marriage went south, and his life took a sharp turn. As investigators dug deeper into Jason Brown's past, they found that by the time he had completed his MBA, he had undergone a fundamental transformation. The Eagle Scout and former missionary had reinvented himself as a player, a party boy with a taste for speedboats, sports cars, pretty women, and high-stakes gambling. Cops concluded that the roots of the mystery could be traced back to childhood and his relationship with his father, John Brown.
His father was described as often going into Tijuana to pick up large sums of money and then come back. Having some side jobs, but always having a large stack of cash.
His father was a bit of a flim-flam guy.
Yes. The apple didn't fall too far from that tree with him and his son.
He learned from him, absolutely.
A man of mystery with a criminal record. Brown Sr. was, like his boy, a gambler and player. He spoiled Jason.
Had a silver spoon in his mouth, had money, he had the nice things. He had a father that taught him how to get those nice things, maybe without a traditional job. There were other things in his past that lead us to believe that maybe he followed the path of his father.
Agents' suspicions were particularly heightened when they learned that Brown's father, John, vanished in 1994, 10 years before his fugitive son disappeared.
Do you think there's a possibility that Jason is hiding out with his father, John?
Conspiracy theorists may believe that. I don't.
Jason's sister and brother declined to talk to Dateline, and investigators say they have been less than cooperative with them as well. FBI agents pressured David Brown for information that might help them locate Jason, but blood proved thicker than water. For instance, there was the matter of Jason's silver BMW.
David told us many times, I have no idea where it is. I have no idea where it is. Ultimately, David, unbeknownst to us, traveled to Las Vegas, accessed one of Jason's storage units in Las Vegas, and grabbed the BMW. Not just to have it for himself, but also to completely clean it out.
David Brown moved the vehicle to California and had it detailed. When the FBI found out, he was arrested and pleaded guilty to the felony of making a false statement. He got 3 years probation.
How important would it have been to you in this investigation to get a good look at that BMW before David sanitized?
Extremely important.
We wanted fingerprints, the DNA, the hairs. Anything could have been in that vehicle.
Do you think his brother or any other family member knows more than they're letting on?
I think it's extremely difficult for somebody like Jason, anybody, to go this long without ever communicating with friends or family.
Undeterred, investigators burrowed further, uncovering scam after scam their charming young fugitive had allegedly perpetrated. He excelled at buying things on credit.
From boats to cars and everything, never paid for it. He walked on the lot and did the initial purchase, and they never saw him again.
Brown was also suspected of running a string of bogus businesses across the Southwest. Picture Perfect Modeling was the name of his Texas venture.
He had a modeling agency in Austin, Texas.
Yes, where he just conned female co-eds from University of Texas to do modeling shoots with him. Take $5,000 from them, or he would just take the money and run and use it to meet women and move on.
Total scam.
Total scam, right.
Jason even posed for some modeling photos of himself in Austin. But how did a man suspected of running con games become the violent criminal cops allege he is?
For Jason, I think it came down to his greed, his desire for money, his desire to be that millionaire, the life of the party. And how that desire extends to the point where you can kill somebody, that's something I'll never understand.
Investigators might have been despairing of ever understanding Jason Brown, but they still had hopes of catching him, and the stakes were high.
On the surface, everything looks normal with this guy, but he is the portrait of a sociopath. And when he runs out of money, again, then what happens?
Coming up, the suspected killer, who could easily be the guy next door. Think you know your neighbor? She thought so.
He was generous. He'd help people out. He'd golf with some of the neighbor guys.
Did you believe he was capable of doing something like that?
No.
When Dateline continued.